Derbyshire's Billy Godleman produced an innings of defiance on his return to Lord's, but it was his old Middlesex pal Stephen Finn who took the plaudits on the opening day of their LV County Championship match. Chris Rogers won the toss for early table toppers Middlesex and was nearly celebrating early success as Godleman's edge fell a fraction short of Sam Robson in the slips. Finn was back in the county game in what is a huge summer for him, and he was soon causing problems for Wayne Madsen. Madsen survived that, but was out before he'd scored. His partner didn't really help in getting in the way of his on-drive, and the former Derbyshire man Rogers took full advantage in running out Madsen for a duck. So now let's show you something very rare on this day. To his 20th delivery, Godleman drove Tim Murtagh through the covers for 4. He didn't hit another boundary in the rest of his 265-ball stay. Thankfully for those watching at the home of cricket, Wes Durston did. It was at times painfully slow going from the newly promoted Derbyshire, but what Durston and Godleman did was show plenty of fight against what is regarded as one of the best seam attacks in the country, and one which had helped Middlesex thrash the much-fancied Nottinghamshire by 10 wickets at Trent Bridge last week. Durston did his best against the few hittable deliveries offered to him by a well-disciplined attack, scoring 48 before Finn got him out. He was out at 86 for 2, which then brought Shivnarine Chanderpaul in, looking to make hay at Lord's, with Godleman hardly playing a shot in anger at the other end. In what was becoming a quite extraordinary innings of concentration, it was left to the West Indian to find the boundary rope, as these two took the total along to 118, made at barely 2 runs per over. For one with nearly 22,000 first-class runs under his belt, the manner of Chanderpaul's dismissal was a little surprising. On 18, he shovelled a delivery from Gareth Berg into the hands of Joe Denley at mid-wicket. At least Dan Redfern lifted the rate of scoring a fraction before tea. But it was after the break that Finn's efforts were rewarded as he put his side in the ascendancy. On 15, Redfern's fine glance was too fine, and John Simpson tied it up behind the stumps. Then, in his next over, Finn was grateful that Chesney Hughes had a flash and nicked behind to go for 4. And Finn was soon celebrating again after he trapped John Clare in front for 6. All of Derbyshire's hard work was threatening to go to waste, as he now found themselves on 150 for 6. The one-man Finn nor anyone else could disturb was the brick wall known as Godleman. He was brought through the Middlesex ranks with his best friend Finn. They both made their first-class debuts as 16-year-olds in the same match, and he at last recorded his 50. Get this, it had taken him 244 balls, only one of which had found the boundary. He now looked as if all of his amazing efforts were going to be in vain though, as Toby Rowland-Jones got amongst the wickets by having Tom Poynton taken behind for 16. And then poor Tony Palladino sacrificed his wicket before he'd even faced a ball. Godleman ignored his call to stop going for a second run, and the former Essex man was given little chance of making his ground. What made matters worse for the visitors was that 5 balls later, Godleman's extraordinary innings was ended when he was given out LBW off Murtagh, a decision the batsman clearly didn't agree with. After 6 hours of batting, his knock ended on 55 after 265 balls. After all that stoic defence, it was a little shocking to see bat hit ball at the end of the day. Tim Groeneval provided a cameo, including a pulled 6 off Ollie Rayner, and with Mark Turner by his side, Derbyshire were able to reach 200 for a batting bonus point before stumps were drawn on a day which both Finn and Godleman would have enjoyed. Finn ended the day with the figures of 4 for 36. Derbyshire will hope that their openers' efforts are not in vain. They'll resume on the second morning on 205 for 9.